Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and we continue our Spanish cruiser tech tree line today, the new one with Galicia. I'm not sure, guys. Listen, nobody comes here for pronunciations. I say it all the time, right? If you're here for that, don't be. I'm not good at that. However, if you want to learn how to play a ship, I'm pretty decent at that. That being said, guys, at time of recording this video, do not have the commander for the ship. I am not a CC. I don't, uh, it's not the end of the world. So this is the core commander you normally get with it. If you wanted to go with this route, I would probably do same inspirations along with Burn It Down or Ingenious. Honestly, Ingenious would be pretty good along with Forward Command, Refill Station, or Sponge, along with Fixated and Refill. So, or on second thought here, Fixated and Refill Station. Obviously, that doesn't help much, and it definitely doesn't help this ship because you don't have the rapid fire. So, that being said, we are going to use a base commander, which a lot of you may have to use. So that's okay as well. We're using Membeli and a Kuzganov to help out with reload and range. His base trait is C detectability and movement speed, so not terrible. We're using Burn It Down XXL. Look at me now. On second thought and reaching out XXL along with fully packed. Honestly, you don't need fully packed. Um, any of these will work. There isn't a perk really that helps a whole lot at this tier, right? For this ship. Maybe will to rebuild, but I don't want to build a whole different preset for a tier 4 that I'm not going to be in very often, obviously. That being said, we are for the consumable or for upgrades, sorry guys, for your first modification, we're going to use Aiming Systems Mod 1. Then get your range to help that out because they do have kind of poor range. The hull B for the extra AA mounts and health, and the last one to help with reload. This is a fun ship, guys. I will talk more about it, but I do like this ship. You have a couple sonars that are pretty decent. Not great anymore, like tier 3. These are pretty good at tier 3. At tier 4, they're not as good. Survivability, 27,000 health, so a fair amount of health for a cruiser, obviously. Main battery, uh, you have 8 152s. They reload in 8 seconds. Uh, your HE shell damage, as you can see here, is 2200 with a 10% fire chance. You do pen 25 millimeters of armor, and your AP is pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it is decent, right? This is where you're going to start using AP a little bit more because these guns feel more accurate than they did at tier 3. And as you guys can see here, you have the same 3 torpedoes on each side. They're kind of defensive in nature. And AA defense, obviously, not good, right? That is not good on this ship, especially if you go against a tier 5 carrier. It's going to be rough. Maximum speed, definitely pretty decent. Turning circle and rudder, not too bad. Concealment, pretty solid at 9.3. Um, the one thing I will say about all these Spanish cruisers, as you can see here, range isn't ideal, right? So 14.7, you could build more into it with the other commander, I guess. But at the, the more I play this game, the less I worry about range. As long as I can get about 15 kilometers out of stuff, especially cruisers. If I get 15 kilometers out of cruisers, I'm pretty happy. Stats, as you can see, 8 matches, 63% win rate. Not a ton of damage, but again, effective damage, right? And I didn't want to play too many matches in this thing. 8 was plenty as it was already, but you can see pretty decent stats for what it is, right? It's a tier 4 or a tier 4 cruiser. It's not like you're going to be putting up 150k games all the time, right? So one aircraft destroyed in my best game, so it tells you how bad the AA is. Armor, very interesting on this ship. Okay, so now on this ship we go from that where you're overmatched everywhere, which you kind of are here, but you have this extended belt right? This extended belt. What is that over here? Was it 30, 38? So you have a 38 extended belt, and yeah, that yeah, there's 38 on the front. Just double check and make sure the front was the same, meaning nothing overmatches that, right? And unlike the tier 3, the Citadel isn't quite as high up over the belt. Like you can see the belt, not as bad, right? So even though you're technically overmatched by heavy cruisers, this is a lot tougher of a ship. Now, if you give up a broadside, holy man, is this a big Citadel, right? But with this armor, you can angle to everything, right? You just got to worry about that stray round over the bow into the Citadel. A lot harder to do on this ship than it is at tier 3 because, especially with accuracy where it is, that's a pretty small target to hit for anything at tier 4, right? There's not a whole lot of accurate ships that are going to just do that magically, okay? But again, be careful of that ridge, that center part of that citadel that raises up. It will take some citadels that you kind of don't expect, right? But it's not nearly as bad as it was on the tier 3. And it's kind of nice to be able to angle to everything. This is a lot tougher ship than most of the rest of the line for me, in my opinion. But anyway, don't be stupid and go broadside in it, though, either, because you will not live long. I can assure you of that. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we're going to use our concealment to get up close in this match. We have the armor to actually bounce some shells. You'll see it in this match. But there's a broadside Emily Bertine. And we have AP loaded, which I highly recommend. And the accuracy that this ship has at tier 4 is very good. Now, your back gun, I expected him to turn out a little bit more, but you can see here, we make an adjustment and we start citadeling him here. Your back turret has kind of a bad firing angle, so don't always worry about getting your back turret on target, because I've done that a few times and has got me in trouble. That's normally the angle that you start to get mauled by a battleship. You can see everybody shooting at us, a lot of shells missing, and we actually have the armor to kind of defend ourselves against them. But we want to limit who shoots us, right? There's a Galicia over there, or however you pronounce it. Anytime I can't pronounce anything, I just call it Hakalui, alright? So, but there's Vander der Tan, and that is a real problem, because that is actually a pretty accurate ship, particularly for the tier. And I don't want to be messed up by him because he does have my broadside. So we're going to start using our ship to dodge forward and back. Now, this time I'm more aware, and unlike Desert Storm, that I don't have prop mod, right? So got to be a little bit careful here. So we're going to continue to back up and go forward. And a lot of times that's all you got to do at tier 4. To mess people up. Now, I'm hoping to get help because this Vander Tam understands I'm a problem. He's trying to get rid of me. But, to be fair, he hasn't really stopped me from camping this base, right? So, we're going to back up. Again, all the shells miss, even though he's getting some bad luck on the salvos. But we are moving. We're making it annoying to try to hit us, right? And meanwhile, we are hitting him and doing some damage. Not a ton. We have HE loaded right now because he's angled at us. Now, this ship, a lot of times you should be using AP, guys. Alright? The battleship's angled at us, it's better to shoot HE. Right here. But a lot of times the ship's AP is good enough where it starts to use the tide of the turn of where you want to start leaning into AP more in this line. And getting used to the rest of it. Now you're going to see here we are shooting HE with no luck on fires, you know. So the fire chance isn't terrible on the ship. It just relying on fire chance is not always the best way to go unless you have a flamethrower like the Japanese or the Pan Asians, you know, or some other ships, you know. We're going to go ahead and keep shooting at Vander Tom. And we're going to push up because this Kavor is, we got to get rid of it, right? Yeah, this is too close for a Kavor. Now, we probably, had we loaded AP there, we probably could have did some significant damage, but we had HE loaded. That's close enough, and he was broadside enough at the time to do that. We send out some torps just to try to force him away. Either he's going to eat all our torps or he's going to turn out, right? He's kind of going to do both, actually, in this scenario. As you can see, our really good firing angles, and you can see our torps, like defensive and sneak attack in nature, right? Our torps are going to hit him and do a bunch of damage, but they were basically at the end of their range right there, right? So we're going to hit Kavor, and this whole time we've been dodging shells, keeping turning, messing with throttle, to make sure we're not taking a big hit. Now, I'm not going to be in this match too long, right? But I'm playing a huge role right now. We're 5 minutes into a fight, and we have 50,000 damage, right? And we've helped cap the base. So it's not like we're hiding at the back of the map doing burn damage, right? We've got citadels, all that. So now I figured that cruiser's going to push up. Kind of a mistake here. I forget about a couple ships here. First of all, Königsberg's here. I know I could probably take him out, but even a Königsberg, I get unlucky. We get some overpins here. Not ideal, right? That should have been taking him out. But the big thing is, I forget about the Van der Tam here. And this is going to showcase here. You see I've been getting shot. If you're dumb in this ship, that doesn't make it tough either, right? Like, nobody can, you know, beat dumbness. And what I did there was truly dumb. I should have just chilled where I was at. I was in a good position, but nope. I wanted to be a hero and be dumb, and I wanted to showcase this because all of a sudden you look down and I have no health, right? We don't have no heals. We got nothing. The whole team's looking at us, mad at us, because we were annoying the whole match, and we got exactly what we deserved for pulling out there in our daily Dumb Dave moment. So, you can see how to play this ship effectively, the AP, the HE, and the strengths of being able to dodge shells and bounce them, because if you were paying attention in there, we were actually bouncing some shells off of New York, being angled. But when you go broadside and out in front of everybody, that's the result you're going to get. I deserved every little bit of that, and I almost lost the match to the team. However, I did put us in a very good position to win, even though I was only alive for, what was that, 4 or 5 minutes? But we had a good 4 or 5 minutes, right? But you can see how quickly you can get yourself in trouble if you're not careful. Especially not having heals, and this line kind of has that issue right here at 3 and 4, and we will talk more about it in the next videos. The next ships are fun, guys. They get all the way into AP, and these things, I love them. I'm not saying they're for everybody, but I like them. But we had ourselves a solid match, helping our team win. Anyway, you guys have a super wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time.